Broadcasting live in downtown Oakland.
I'm David Hollander, and you're listening to Protect Your Assets. Over the last 20 years, I've met many people dissatisfied with the lack of value and personal attention their financial advisor provides them. At Liberty Group, we personalize every aspect of our clients' retirement and financial plan with estate law, wealth management, and tax planning all under one roof. Call today to make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Two weeks down, and we have two different winners. Will it be three unique winners in the opening three rounds, or will Andre Castro or Josh Green get their second win of the season? Welcome to RaceSpotTV's coverage of the Real Racers Virtual Club, live from virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway, otherwise known as Gateway. I'm your host, Joshua Lee. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Lorenzo Bonder, and we have Arjuna Kankipati down in the virtual production trailer. And Lorenzo, the only oval on the calendar that is like this. We have Phoenix later on in the calendar as well, but that is all the way at the tail end in the middle of the season. Gateway is one of the two ovals that we will see on the calendar. This is going to be an exciting race, especially because it is so unique to not just all the road courses that we see on this calendar, but it's also unique to Phoenix, the other oval that we're going to see this season.
Yeah, it's two ovals that I've been able to commentate in the Indy Pro 2000s a few seasons back here at RaceSpotTV. Always provide some good racing. You know, I think Gateway provided some of the closest racing I've seen in Indy Pros. Throughout the two seasons I've been broadcasting on the Indy Pro 2000s, but it's a great race. The differentiator, though, I think in here is the fixed setup, which is gonna make the things way more closer than it should be.
We can grab a look at the point standings as we get ready to go racing tonight. Josh Green, with his win 1 week ago at Lime Rock Park, is going to be the leader of the point standings as we go into round number 3. Wade Michael, a very consistent name at the front of both Watkins Glen and Lime Rock Park, sits nestled in second place. Then Andre Castro and Zach Hudson. Castro, the winner from Watkins Glen, and Zach Hudson, another very consistent name. They're tied for the final spot in the top 3, with Max Butler rounding out the top 5. You can look down the order, and Nikita Lestachkin, Matthew Escajeda with Nicholas Leo and Anders Krohn down there as well. Simon Sykes rounds out the top 10 with Rock and Roll Rick Sheldon and Peter Dempsey rounding out the top 12, but a lot of great names sitting nestled in that top 10, Lorenzo, and these points can really go anywhere. It is very, very close at this point. The gap between first and second being 3 points, gap between second and third being 2 points, and the gap between third and fourth being no points as they currently sit tied.
Yeah, it's basically a sneeze. If you sneeze, you get some points of source in this championship. And Gateway, I think, is going to be one of those first tracks that might split the field a little bit. Those who are more knowledgeable with the with running through ovals, especially this 1.25 mile oval, which has a different flow from any other ovals we see in the calendar. We know that Indy cars go around here. I think it's only one of the 4 ovals they go throughout the season, if I recall correctly. And it's a very tricky oval to say at the very least. For this first leg, it's basically try to take it as deep as you can towards the inside and avoid basically driving up to the wall. You have to drive up as close to the wall as you can. And then the second one, which you're going right now in Anders Krohn, you can take it like 2 lines because it does funnel into 1 line or half a line of sorts into the front stretch, which is a very interesting one. If you're in the back, you can catch up pretty much easily. That's why I like a lot about this track.
We go on board with the 12 of Nikita Lestachkin, working his way past the fastest driver on the course right now, the 47 of Anders Krohn, as they'll have a little bit of a drag race coming down back straightaway here at Gateway. This track, Lorenzo, fairly short when it comes to tracks across the United States. Of course, on the NASCAR side, used to ovals like Daytona, Talladega. You could even go a little bit shorter with the intermediates at Charlotte, Texas, Atlanta. this kind of sits in the middle of a short track and an intermediate. It is not quite the length of the intermediate tracks, but it also is not as short as a normal short track would be, but the turns are very tight. So it's kind of just in the middle of both of those, and it becomes a challenge for these drivers on how to set up their race cars and how to drive this track with it only being about 1.25 miles.
Yeah, so just for those who are unaware, basically turn 1 and 2 have about 11 degrees of banking. But the radius that you go in through turn number 1 and 2 is so tight that is basically one line. You have to be basically into the inside if you're trying to fight two ways. Usually whoever's on the outside doesn't get a real good advantage unless you're basically diving down into the outside and you actually have a little bit of an overlap. Lane 2, basically turn 3 and 4 is 9 degrees, so it's shallower, it's easier to navigate, and there's a lot of room for you to make 2 to 3 lines that eventually funnel into 2 lines of source and basically fight it all the way down to the finish line. It's a very fast track for Indy cars, though. They can hit it up to 300 kilometers per hour, 310, which is insane to think about in a 1.25 mile track.
These Indy Pro 2000s, of course, a tad slower, but they can still provide some exciting action as we continue to watch practice go through as we now focus on the 2 of Zach Hudson, who is currently following the number 69 machine on the racetrack, that being Nicholas Leo behind the wheel. Taking a look at the times, and we can take a look at that timing tower all the way down at the bottom. You see the gap from Matthew Escajeda, who currently sits in the final spot, P12, all the way up to Anders Krohn at the top. It is only about 3/10 that separate all the drivers on this course right now. Everybody is very, very close together. And Lorenzo, what kind of racing are you expecting from these Indy Pro 2000s tonight? Because they can kind of race a little bit like Indy cars at Indianapolis, or they can kind of just get in a long draft train and kind of race similar to NASCAR stock cars if they go to a track like Daytona or Talladega.
I do believe it will be kind of like a little mix of the both, more closely to draft packs going around the track, because this is a fixed setup. It makes everything closer than what it should be, you know. So you're gonna be basically trying to avoid the arrow wash going to turn number 1 and 2. You don't get that way too much in 3 and 4 because you can be basically spread nearly 4 wide and going to 3 and 4. So it's going to be an interesting one to take that a little bit closer to call at some points, because you're fighting with basically one another, going to 3 wide into turn number 1 maybe, and then funnel into 2 lines. So for the drivers, maybe a little bit hectic and slightly chaotic towards the first few laps. Once it breaks away a little bit, is draft trains and try to find your own stride and make the other drivers make mistakes.
And you can see how many drivers are running together down the back straightaway here at Worldwide Technology Raceway, getting into a little bit of a 6-car pack as they work their way through the final couple of corners here at Gateway. Turns 3 and 4, the longer end of the racetrack, and then right down the front straightaway, screaming back to turn number 1. How about Nicholas Leo going up the order in that number 69? And you can see just how close together they're running. Very, very close with those front wings. Trying to make sure they don't get any contact, and there's some contact as the 2 machine is going to get turned around towards the back of the pack here as we continue on with practice from Worldwide Technology Raceway. 10 minutes of qualifying is coming up. Now, every driver will have 4 laps that they'll be able to complete on the racetrack, and once they complete those 4 laps, the best time of those 4 will be the lap time that is set for them in qualifying, and then we'll set the grid based on that and go racing for 25 minutes tonight. Not a long race by any means, Lorenzo, but still a substantial race as we see some big contact there. The new damage model for the Indy Pro 2000 really being shown.
Yeah, it shows up how difficult it is, and drivers just proving how effective is the damage model of iRacing towards those cars and getting prepped for qualifying, which is going to happen in about 40 seconds.
As we get ready for qualifying, we will like to thank the sponsors of Real Racers Virtual Club, starting with the title sponsor, Liberty Group. At Liberty Group LLC, we believe everyone should be able to live the retirement they've always wanted. Our team of professionals can help you create a well-thought-out strategy using a variety of investments and insurance products and services to help you address your financial needs and concerns. We also would like to thank the Stephen Wilson Racing Academy for their support of Real Racers Virtual Club. The Stephen Wilson Racing Academy exists to assist clients on their motorsport journey. SWRA utilizes 20-plus years in the sport with advanced coaching techniques, track and car knowledge, and widespread international industry connections to help clients progress it to any level imaginable. Whether the client is new to driving on track or an experienced amateur racer, we help our clients develop driving skills that enable them to climb through the Ferrari Challenge ranks, win races in Ferrari Challenge, advance to competing in Pro-Am racing, and one day possibly iconic races such as the Daytona 24 Hours or the Le Mans 24 Hours. And we also would like to thank Coforce for their support of Real Racers Virtual Club.
Coforce is a digital media marketing agency specializing in the world of motorsports. Working in a variety of racing series in North America, Coforce offers a full range of services, from video production and targeted branding campaigns to event planning and special projects. For more information, visit www.coforce.com or find them at a race event near you.
Welcome back to RaceSpotTV's coverage of the Real Racers Virtual Club from the virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway. Joshua Lee back with you in the booth. Alongside me is Lorenzo Bonder, Arjuna Kankipati controlling the overlays and cameras tonight, bringing you all of the action live on RaceSpot. Qualifying has just begun, and we have about 8.5 minutes remaining. First drivers on the track putting their first lap times in. And as we get those in, Lorenzo, currently at the top, it is Joe Butler, the brother to Max, who are currently focused on the racetrack here. Let's see if one Butler can overtake the other. Max Butler is going to have to improve on a 31.993, fastest time being a 31.766 put up by the 8 machine.
Yeah, but it's bizarrely close. Everybody, I think, separated only by 0.3 of a second. Only 4 drivers still to do their laps around the track, but they have 4 laps. So eventually it gets a little bit better. I think 3rd lap, maybe 4th lap, once the tires are actually properly heated in and you still have some fuel in the car, should be a little bit better because the car is lighter and you're able to grip the car better through the turns, as we see the Kilo Lostachkin on the backstretch.
How about Wade Michael moving his way up and into P number 1 as we go on board with Nikita Lostachkin. 31.509 is the time to beat for the number 12. Max Butler goes up to the top with a 31.486. Is it enough for Lostachkin? And it doesn't look like it is going to be enough to go to the top. About 4.5 tenths off at a 31.889. Nicholas Leo is going to go to the top of the charts, a 31.421. Lorenzo, it looks like for a lot of these drivers, the times continue to climb as they go through all 4 laps on this racetrack. Lostachkin's on lap number 2 now. Here he comes off of turn number 4. Let's see if the 12 can improve.
Will be close, though.
31.694. He'll improve 1 spot, but it's not going to be enough to challenge for a pole position. We'll see if Lostachkin will get a little bit faster on this 3rd and 4th laps. There's Wade Michael, currently sits now in P2. As it looks like to me, Lorenzo, a bit of a tie at the top of the board. Now, iRacing will only offer us the time down to the 1,000th of a second, but it's a 31.421 versus a 31.421 at the top of the board. Nicholas Leo is going to have that top spot, but they basically have identical lap times at the front as Lostachkin moves up to P5.
Yeah, really close times. Only if we see the 4th and 5th houses to see who actually gone faster between Nick Leo and Wade Michael. But really good laps over here. It does show everybody's ready to tackle around the track. And again, one of my opinions here is despite you being in 12th place, we don't have a big grid, right? I think with the fact that Rick Sheldon might be in last place, with this grid and everybody being close to one another and the draft effect being so big around this track, you basically have a chance from that last place to move up to P1.
Taking a look at rock and roll Rick Sheldon here as he comes across the line to maybe improve on his lap times. Looks like he had 3 laps down. This is going to be lap number 4 that he is just now starting. And he's not able to move up at all, but Anders Krone is able to move up to P number 5. Great run for the 47 to move his way further up. Take a look. The top 5 right now, all within a 1/10 of a second of each other, and you could make the argument that the top 6 are all within a 1/10 of each other as well, as Nikita Listachkin just about 1,000th over, being in that 1/10 club to the leader, Nicholas Leo. Zach Hudson not too far behind, along with Kurt Pansegrau, also there in P number 8. As we continue to run our way through qualifying here, over halfway done now. Most of the field getting their 4 laps done, and it looks like everybody in the field now has gotten at least their 4 laps in. So we'll see if we are going to advance our way over into qualifying, or if we are going to wait out this 4.5 minutes. But Lorenzo, a lot to talk about when it comes to this race tonight. One of the 2 ovals that we will see in this campaign, but I think the main thing that is on everybody's mind is how are these drivers going to race on this oval tonight? Only 12 cars. It is not a big field, but also not a tiny field by any means. 12 drivers are going to try and put on a show for everybody watching live on RaceSpotTV. It's going to be exciting because these cars race so differently on road course versus ovals. They don't really race like Indy cars, but they don't really race like stock cars either. They're kind of in a class of their own when it comes to the ovals, especially here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Yeah, and that's what I like so much about these cars, because, you know, they don't have the weight jackers and anti-roll bars that we see in Indy cars, or the heavy feel, or like you're driving a boat around a oval like we do in the NASCARs, that you have to manage the tires. Well, you have to manage the tires here regardless, but it's going to be an interesting race where everybody will be close. There will be some attrition at the beginning. Some drivers might want to move up a few spots here and there. The setup looks like to be very stable towards the first few laps. You just might have to manage with the dirty air those tires at the early beginning, because they might drift a little bit. But other than that, it should be a very interesting race for us to watch.
We can grab a look at the schedule for the rest of the season. The Red Bull Ring is coming up in a couple of weeks' time. We'll grab an off week in 1 week's time on the January 25th, but we'll be right back here February 1st for more action for the Real Racers Virtual Club. Then you can go further down the order. The Legacy Silverstone will be in week 5. Interlagos on the schedule as well. Then we see the second oval, and the only other oval that we'll go to on the calendar, at Phoenix Raceway. Then Road America on March 1st. WeatherTech Raceway at Laguna Seca for round number 9. Then the Sonoma Raceway in the Cup layout for round number 10. And then we end out same place where we started at Watkins Glen, just a different layout. It'll be the classic layout for Watkins Glen that eliminates both the boot and the bus stop as well, making it a unique challenge, but a challenge in itself when we go back to Watkins Glen to finish out the campaign. So a lot to be excited about when it comes to this schedule, as we can have multiple months of action starting the season a couple of weeks ago on January 4th, and then we're going to go all the way to the end of March. So a lot to be excited about when it comes to Real Racers Virtual Club live on RaceSpotTV, and every broadcast of this season will be found right here on RaceSpot. Under 2 minutes left, just about 90 seconds to go until we can grab a look at that starting grid and get going for tonight's race. And Lorenzo, taking a look at the times, Nicholas Leo, Wade Michael, Max Butler, they're all in the same realm. You can add Anders Krone, you can add McGinnis into that one as well, as he rounds out the top 5. A lot of close times, and I think we're only going to see even closer racing as everybody gets into the pack and be racing as one with a 25-minute time limit on this final race.
Yeah, and for some, the scary portion is the fact that they start double foul. It's not single foul like some people like it to be. If we have any restarts, it will be single foul, so it makes the action slightly more tranquil or more easier for you to navigate towards the first restart laps. But this double foul, I think, is going to be interesting for us to notice if there's anybody who's going to be more aggressive towards the start. And see who's going to be making it out on top. And looks like we're going to have fast repairs, which are an easier factor. If you crash your car, you can tow it back to the pit lane. I think we might see yellow flag, and they can repair their cars and be back on track without too much of a hassle.
And we'll see how that is going to affect everything, because when we have fast repairs, of course, it is great to bring it down into the pit lane and grab that fast repair and be right back onto the racetrack with a clean car. But you need to make it to the pit lane to be able to use it. If you have to tow back to the pit lane, you could be kissing your win or podium chances goodbye. Time expires on qualifying, and we are going to take a look at the starting grid for round number 3 of the Real Racers Virtual Club season from Worldwide Technology Raceway. And we can take a look at the grid now. Nicholas Leo is going to walk away with the pole position. Wade Michael will start to his outside. Max Butler and Anders Krone is going to share that second row with Robert McGinnis. We haven't seen him this season. He makes his debut in this campaign in the inside of row number 3. Nikita Listachkin will start to the outside in P6. Zach Hudson is going to share the 4th row with Kurt Pansegrau, with Matthew Escalera and Joe Butler rounding out the top 10. Rounding out the field, it'll be Jackson Ball and Rick Sheldon. They'll share the final 2 spots on row number 6. But field has taken to the grid. They roll off. Lorenzo, final thoughts as we get ready to go racing. Only a single pace lap here, as it is 1.25 miles around this racetrack, but it is still a quick pace lap. We're going to be going green very, very soon.
Yeah, one of my favorite racetracks to drive around the oval, especially with this car. It was amazing to cover this race in Season 4 of the Indy Pros. Can't wait to see what these drivers will do around the track, especially with this tiny but yet considerable grid.
And the field's going to work their way down the back straightaway, and we get ready to grab that green flag. They'll be starting behind the official iRacing pace car as we get ready to begin all of the festivities tonight, as the field will make their way into turns 3 and 4 and be ready to go for the race tonight. 25 minutes are on the clock. Big question is, can Josh Green go back-to-back? Can Andre Castro grab win number 2 for the season? Or are we going to see a new name in victory lane at the end of 25 minutes? Pace car down and away into the safety of pit lane. It's Nicholas Leo in control of the field. Let's go racing! Round number 3 is underway from Gateway. A big start for Nicholas Leo, but already a touch of 3 wide towards the back as the number 1 machine of Max Butler's trying to already make something happen. Nobody moving from where they began under the green flag, however, as they go back into turn 3. Pack's going to start to work its way through as Max Butler tries to get by Anders Krone. Looks like a bit of an incident towards the back with Kurt Pansegrau. And up front, 2x2 starting to work. Here comes the 47 of Anders Krone to the inside of Wade Michael. He wants second place.
We see a 3 wide going in between Robert McGinnis, Max Butler, and looks like that was Nikita Listachkin going turn number 1. Nearly went into disaster. They had to someone had to back away, but we saw that as well with McGinnis trying to go on lap number 1 for a 3 wide, had to back out, but drivers are getting feisty on these first few laps.
And Robert McGinnis, of course, a racer in Indy Lights for Andretti Autosport. The great thing about Real Racers Virtual Club, everybody here either works in racing or races cars in the real world. And around gonna go to Nikita Listachkin on the inside. He just got turned around. Doesn't look like he made contact with anybody. Just lost the car to the inside. He'll tow it back to the pit lane. But at the front, Lorenzo, shades of Indianapolis, taking him all the way to the grass is your current race leader. Looks like we have a replay of the opening lap incident. This was with the 11 of Kurt Pansegrau. Contact made with the 3 of Matthew Escalera.
Yeah, it looks like Escajeda was just way too deep into the line of Pensacola, and the contact was made. Unfortunate to see Pensacola cars going into the box, as we see now the weaving of the cars to try to break the toe on the backstretch, because like I said, the toe is big over here. So now we're going to look what happened to Lastotchkin. Just loses the front end on the entry and the back end kicks, and that looked like to be Joe Butler, who actually was caught right in the mix.
Rough hit, nowhere to go for Joe Butler. Both of them have towed their way back into the pit lane. Kurt Pansegrau was able to drive his way back to the pit lane, I believe, and still sits one lap down, but he is back on the racetrack with the fast repair used. Here's more 2x2 action. 22.5 minutes remaining in this race. Anders Krohn still leads the way, but Indy Lights driver Robert McGinnis going to sit in second place. Nicholas Leo also knocking on the door of a podium as he sits in P number 3. Everybody continuing to fight as we go on board a little bit further back in the pack with the number 1 machine of Max Butler. Always a fan of racing. Now you can find him trackside behind a camera at IndyCar, IMSA, SRO, or any kind of racing as he races P5 currently, trying to take a look to the inside of Wade Michael there in the 5 machine.
Yeah, just couldn't get within the inside lane of Wade Michael, and everybody weaving, trying to catch the draft out of one another. As we're going to go into turn number 1, looks like Wade Michael is on the outside of Nick Leo. Let's see if he's going to be able to get the run done. He does. I think there's some slight contact wheel to wheel between Wade and Nicholas Leo, and Nicholas losing a few spots.
Leo did lose a couple of spots there. He's going to fall to P6. Remember, Nicholas Leo was your pole sitter when we began this race. He is now down 5 spots from where he started the night, the opposite direction of where he wanted to go. But we go on board with Anders Krohn, and if our producer Arjuna Kankipati can leave this on board and we go down the back straightaway, I'm willing to believe Anders Krohn is going to take him all the way to the grass again. Is he going to tap the wall coming off of turn number 2? That was very close, and there goes Anders Krohn trying to protect the inside line, but to the outside goes Robert McGinnis, trying to use the outside line to his advantage, but he's not going to be able to do so. Doesn't look like the outside line is the dominant line here at Gateway Lorenzo. As to the outside again goes McGinnis. He's not going to have enough of a run to clear him by turn 1. Will he have enough of a run through the middle of the corner to clear him by the back straightaway? He will not. Here comes the crossover. Here's the battle for the lead. McGinnis to the inside this time. He's going to have the advantage going into turn 3. Here comes the 5 of Wade Michael to join the fray as they go back to the corner.
Looks like the number 27 might have the run of here. They get way too tight, nearly making wheel-to-wheel contact. It looks like Anders Krohn will have to fight another day, as they still nearly making wheel-to-wheel contact, and Wade Michael is still trying to find a way to position his car to make an overtake.
Anders Krohn, gotta give props to him, not only as a racer, but of course with how that car is working for him. He is able to make the outside line work when we saw the 27 of Robert McGinnis try that outside line, and it did not work for him. So wonderful moves from Anders Krohn to be able to hold on to the race lead. He'll continue to try and protect that inside line and keep McGinnis from getting back down there, but here's a move to the inside and a swift move to the inside as well for the 1 of Max Butler as this front pack continues to battle their way through. This is a 6-car pack as they run either in a line like we're seeing now, 2x2, maybe even 3 wide in a couple of moments as we go inside of 20 minutes left. Still a lot of time to go, and a new race leader at the front as Robert McGinnis is going to take it away from Anders Krohn. Here comes Krohn in the 47 back to the bottom as Wade Michael in the 5 continues to watch from 3rd, and there's a swift move back to the inside for Max Butler.
Yeah, Max is going to be on the inside. Can he hold it for that 4th place spot? For the time being, he can. Let's see if Wade Michael is going to give him the toe. Yes, he will be giving the toe for a little bit. And we're still looking. I swear to you, Josh, I'm looking at 3 wide anytime in the next few laps because it is feisty what they're trying to do right now.
Anders Krohn, Indy Lights driver as well, or former Indy Lights driver, I should say, from Norway. Here's an onboard right in the middle of the pack as we go on board with the number 69. That's Nicholas Leo, who is watching and waiting from P6. McGinnis still sits in the lead, but now trying to make a run back for that lead is Anders Krohn. Wade Michaels now going to have a challenge to the inside from Max Butler. There's more defense. What we see with open wheel cars on ovals like this, Lorenzo, taking it as far down to the inside as they can, trying to protect the inside line as they go side by side for third. That's the one of Max Butler trying to take it away from Wade Michael in the 5. They're going to go side by side, be close to banging wheels, but credit to Wade Michael, he is not giving up without a fight. But in the battle for the lead, it looks like McGinnis might have to give way as Anders Krohn is going to get that spot back. And now we go side by side as Matthew Escajeda is able to grab a spot on Rick Sheldon in the battle for 7th.
Yeah, as we're still seeing these cars in the three-car battle for 7th, 8th, or 9th, they're closely together. But the problem is those guys in the front, they're going so fast, Joshua. They're being able to break away from these 3 in the back. So it will take an inhuman effort for them to be close to one together and maybe become a 9-car fight.
You can see the 6-car fight at the front. If it does become a 9-car fight, it is only going to become even more entertaining. But we can grab the 70-30 box here as a front row seat in the battle for the lead with the one of Max Butler to the inside. There goes Anders Krohn trying to get back by McGinnis. They're still going to go side by side as to the outside now of the one of Butler. Wade Michael trying to grab that 3rd spot back as they race back through turns 3 and 4. Still side by side for 1st, still side by side for 3rd, and why don't we just go side by side for 5th as well. 2 by 2 for 3 rows for a moment. Where's the one trying to go? It looks like Max Butler wanted to look to the outside. No room with the wall up there. Krohn gonna stay to the inside, and is he gonna clear McGinnis on the back straightaway? No, he won't. Another touch to the wall for the one of Max Butler as they all trade places and they all are scattering down the back straightaway back to turn 3.
Yeah, everybody close to one another, and we had some contact between McGinnis and Anders Krohn as McGinnis have to drop back a little bit. I'm wondering if McGinnis has some wing damage on his wing. Does look like he has some damage on the front left wing of his number 27 car. But here's the thing. Because you're in the draft, you might be able to keep up, but can you make the moves now that you have a front damage wing? And how long can you keep it up so close to these guys?
And that is something all of these drivers at the front of this field need to worry about. It is getting that front wing damage because, yes, they have fast repairs, but they need to spend the time in the pit lane to be able to grab them. There is McGinnis going way up the racetrack. I'm not sure, Lorenzo, if there was contact made or if he got loose. Oh, no, there was a little bit of contact with the 47 of Anders Krohn. Not sure if he's going to see a bit of front wing damage, but he is now at the tail end of this field. I think it's going to be telling if we start to see him lose a bit of time or if we see him bite the bullet and bring it into the pit lane. It looks like he might have front wing damage here, Lorenzo. He's falling off the pack of the lead drivers.
Yeah, last lap was a 31.8, nowhere near close to what these guys in the front are doing. Worst lap of all these 5 was a 31.730 from Max Butler, as they're still fighting, and you can see the red pen just showing the slight damage that he has. He's slightly bent on the front lap of his car. You're looking at the gyro cam, and they're still fighting hard. So somehow, someway, McGinnis is still keeping it up, but Matthew Escajeda is coming closer and closer.
Trying to get to that lead pack is Escajeda. Trying to get that lead away is Nicholas Leo. As you can see, Krohn still on the defense, almost going into the crash because the 2 of Zach Hudson. They'll stay side by side. Now Hudson getting a big run into turn number 3, trying to go side by side for 3rd. But as they race their way back through turn 4, excuse me, onto the front straightaway, Krohn all over the place trying to protect that lead. Now going to have to resort to going to the outside is your pole sitter Leo, trying to get back to the lead for the first time since that green flag came out.
Yeah, I'm wondering with that defense if they're trying to go for the racetrack that we have at Gateway. Because we do have a racetrack, which is insane.
Still side by side for that lead. Is coming up the racetrack a little bit, washing up through the middle of 3 and 4. That was the 5 of Wade Michael as they go side by side now with Zach Hudson. 2 by 2 in this 5-car pack. All the way at the tail end of this group now is the one of Max Butler. Nicholas Leo not giving up on the outside. Multiple drivers almost getting into the wall off turn 2. But Anders Krohn, he's not done battling for the lead, but it looks like he's going to have to give way into 3. That's a big send. That's contact, and up the track goes Nicholas Leo, almost makes contact with Max Butler, and Leo falls all the way from 1st to 5th in one corner.
And unbelievably, he still stays on track even with that bump, and that is amazing to see. And this is what I like, you know, being feisty, but driving, try to be as clean as you can be, and the great fighting still goes on. I saw a little bit of a bump trap. To get a look at the replay, this contact between Leo and Krohn. Leo thrown to the outside. The rejoin a little bit scary for Butler. He had to move nearly to the lane of Wade Michael to try to make it at 2 wide. But what a real good battle we're seeing over here.
But gotta say, Lorenzo, the good thing about that just small contact, a tire tap, and sending him up the racetrack versus sending him into the wall, as we see a big defense from Anders Krohn as Green Bay, Wisconsin's Wade Michael goes to the inside. It is good. He did not get any damage from that, and Nicholas Leo is at the tail end of this group, looking to get back and fight for that race lead. Here's the side-by-side for the race lead as they go onto the front straightaway again. 11.5 minutes just about remaining here from virtual Gateway. Krohn on the outside, but Wade Michael, 10 years of real-life karting experience to his name, trying his hand in the virtual world, and is going to try and battle for his first race win of the season. Should also make a note that Josh Green and Andre Castro did not register for this race, so anybody in this race, all 12 drivers, if any of them get the win tonight, they will be a first-time winner in this season's campaign. Will it be Anders Krohn? Will it be Zach Hudson, who now goes into second? Will it be Wade Michael, Max Butler, Nicholas Leo? Or will it be Escajeda or Sheldon or Jackson Ball, who are trying to catch up from that second group?
Yeah, which the worst thing for right now for Krohn is the fact that this is fixed setup. And the funny thing is, even if this was an open setup of sorts, and they could use all the different shops here, their own setups, it would have still been difficult to break away, because on the open setups, it was difficult to break away if you were in the lead. You had like 3, 4, 5 car packs trying to battle each other just like this one, and they were close to one another, you know. This is how close Gateway provides this kind of racing with these cars. You have to take something extra for you to break away from a pack like this, and even then you might have to rely on a little bit of luck from the other guys that might be battling way too hard in the back for you to open up the slightest of margins for you to be, oh, I can breathe out a little bit. I can breathe now a little bit.
10 minutes left. We started with 25, and we've only got 10 of them left as they continue to race in this 5-car lead pack here at Virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway. Anders Krohn leads the way. There you can see the battle for second place. It is now between Max Butler on the inside and Zach Hudson on the outside. You look one row back, battle for that 4th spot. To the inside is Nicholas Leo. To the outside, it is Wade Michael. There you can see some stragglers further back. They're not in this lead pack, but we could see them mix it up at the front soon. Matthew Escajeda trying to bring that pack to the lead as Max Butler is going to clear Anders Krohn. Not going to clear him in the rear, however, as down into turn 3. Krohn's still going to have the inside line, which we've seen tonight, Lorenzo, is the preferred line. But as you can see, the 47, a very fast race car tonight. Max Butler is not able to clear him yet. He's still going to go toe-to-toe with the 47 as they dive back into one. Oh! There's contact, and up and into the wall goes the one of Max Butler.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. They came together on turn number 1. We're going to look at that on the replay. And now as we become a 4-way battle for the lead and podium, that both Krohn and Butler were coming in so close together into turn number 1. I think Krone's car just steers a little bit into the entry of turn number 1 and get it into the line of Max Butler and throws that number 1 car hard into the wall. And we have more contact with Wade Michael.
Continuing the drama here at Virtual Gateway as Wade Michael, with that contact, is now out of the running for the race lead. It looks like one of his tires, the right rear, is knocked up, and there's the huge contact and up and into the wall. And he got successfully down onto the exit road of the pit lane. And oh, that's a slight contact with the 2 of Zach Hudson. Now he tows it all the way back to the pits. But what we originally had was a 6-car battle for the win. Now is going to become a 3-car battle for the win. But Anders Krone able to successfully stay at the front of this field. Zach Hudson and Nicholas Leo not going far either. Hudson started back in P7. A very good night for him, up 5 spots. Nicholas Leo has been at the front all night after starting from the pole. Can Matthew Escajeda, Jackson Ball, and Rick Sheldon make a run for the win? They're about 4 seconds back from Nicholas Leo. Do they have enough time to catch up, and do they have the speed to catch up? Even though they're doing a lot of bouncing around here at the front, Lorenzo, they're still putting a gap on the second pack.
Yeah, because last lap for Krone was a 31.87. Matthew Escajeda 31.567, so it's being faster by a tenth of a second, usually per lap, but it kind of fluctuates. One lap it is better, one other lap is worse. And we have right around 13 more laps on this race, as we still have 5-6 minutes and 40 to go. So I think it requires a miracle for Escajeda and the other group to come in and closer and battle for them.
Only about 6.5 minutes left. Remember, when that clock hits 0, whatever lap they're on, they'll be able to finish, and they'll take the checkered flag on that lap. We'll be watching the clock closely and be watching the lap times closely to see when exactly they will be taking the final lap of this race. But as a general note, if you see a 31 on the timer and they are coming across the line, that will be the final lap, or any number south of 31 seconds on the clock. Whenever they cross the line, that will be the final lap of this race. About 6 minutes to go. You're on board of the Nicholas Leo tail end of the now 3-car lead pack, as the 2 of Zach Hudson trying to take the lead away from Anders Krone. They dive back into turns 1 and 2. Running about the middle line is the 47. That seems to be working the best for Krone. But here comes Zach Hudson. Can the Indianapolis native and an accounting manager for a marketing agency involved in racing be able to grab his first win of the campaign? We go split screen, as on the right side of your screen, we fall all the way to the battle for 4th. Matthew Escajeda, Jackson Ball, and Rick Sheldon, the 3-car battle there.
Yeah, as we trying to see Jackson Ball trying to find the way in. He goes into the inside now. Escajeda. Let's see if we can hold the line and try to grab 4th from Escajeda, and getting outside of turn number 2. And Jackson Ball is now 4th place.
Great move for Jackson Ball, but here comes another move back to the outside for Matthew Escajeda. That Red Bull testing livery in the number 3 machine goes back to the outside. As you can see in the lead pack, Anders Krone really pulling out all the stops on defense now as we go south of 5 minutes to go. Back to the inside goes Zach Hudson. Not going to be enough. He's going to actually touch the rumble strip there, Lorenzo. It looked like that got the car just a little bit upset as he worked his way out of turn 2.
Yeah, you can touch the rumble strip, but you have to touch it in the beginning while you're trying to get into the corner, not while you're in the apex of the corner. If you do that in the apex, the car gets a little bit rowdy, as you might have to lift out the gas a little bit and try to control that car properly. And I think that's what Zach Hudson did. Lost a little bit of ground, but because he's within the draft, there's not a whole lot of time lost. As we're still seeing Jackson Ball, now that Escajeda got the position back from the outside, trying to fend off both Paul and Sheldon, as now I think the battle for the lead reignites once again.
Over to second place goes Nicholas Leo. Under 4 minutes left. Leo gonna try and go for the lead, but Anders Krohn with a big block to the bottom. Leo gonna basically bump draft the 47. Now to the outside goes Zach Hudson in the 2. They'll go side by side for second place again. That is exactly what the 47 of Anders Krohn does not want to see in his mirror. Unlike traditional NASCAR stock cars, Lorenzo, too wide does not slow any car down. So that just basically means if Anders Krohn sees too wide in his mirror, he's going to have 2 cars to try and block from getting this race win.
Yeah, which is the least essential thing that you probably want to see. 2 cars come just as fast as you are going in the final laps. We still have a little bit left to go into this racing. I'll be very honest, if you're trying to battle for the lead and you want to move for the lead, I don't think you should leave that to the final lap. You need to go for it, maybe with a lap or 2 to go, because if you leave, sorry, not a lap or 2, but a 2 to go, otherwise, if you leave it to the last lap, it's basically hit or miss or glory and fail.
And you can see how defensive Anders Krohn is being for this race win as they go back to turn number 1. And you can see the 47 pulling away a little bit now from that race lead. But Zach Hudson in the 2, one of the faster drivers in practice, one of the mid-pack drivers actually in qualifying, did not have good single car speed, is showing speed now in the pack. The second group of drivers, Sheldon Escajeda and Ball, 5 seconds back from this group. They're not going to be a threat with 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go and some odd about 5 laps estimated to go. You can see that second group right side of your screen battling for 4th. As to the inside goes rock and roll Rick Sheldon on Matthew Escajeda. A successful pass for the 63, but they'll be back to side by side down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and you're going to see now Sheldon being bumped drafted by Jackson Ball into the entry of turn number 3, but he goes slowly now into the entry of turn number 3, and Escajeda will get the position back as we still have 1 minute and 40 remaining in this race.
Time very quickly running out for all of these lead drivers. And it sounds like an issue further back. It's Rick Sheldon up and into the wall in turn number 1. We'll stay focused on the lead group for the moment. We'll see if we can grab you that replay of what happened to the 63 in turns 1 and 2, just 1 lap ago. But as we go to 1 minute 15 left, here's the replay, and it's contact from the driver behind of Jackson Ball. Lorenzo, just looked like contact made, and they could not get unhooked until Jackson Ball was off and away from Rick Sheldon.
Yeah, it's a case of it looked like a bump draft of sorts failed into turn number 1, and the problem is it did lots of damage to both cars. The front end of Jackson Ball is heavily damaged. He's going to get overtaken now by Robert McGinnis from what it looks like, but it is McGinnis. Actually, it's Joe Butler who's actually a back marker, as we still have this battle for the lead. 2 laps to go from what it seems. And like I said, if you're battling for the lead, the time is now for you to make that move.
We go south of 31 seconds left. That's the normal lap time around Gateway. This next time by will be the white flag from Virtual Worldwide Technology Raceway. Who is going to win the 3rd round of the Real Racers Virtual Club season? Anders Krohn leads the way. The 2 is Zach Hudson in 2nd. Can Nicholas Leo do anything from 3rd? Leo tries to go to the bottom. Hudson's going to block it as we go white flag. 1 final lap from Virtual Gateway. A tap to the wall on the outside from Anders Krohn. Hudson tries to make a move to the bottom in 1. He can't do it. Trying to use the draft. Krohn's going to go on the defense all the way down to the grass. Hudson follows. He's going to throw Hudson to the outside line. He's going to be there. Leo now down to the bottom for 2nd. Trying to make it work along the outside is Zach Hudson, but it's not going to be enough. Out of 4, Anders Krohn is going to take the win in round 3.
Wow, what a good defensive effort from Anders Krohn as we see some post-racing celebrations of sorts.
You could call that a celebration, especially for Anders Krohn. First win of the campaign for him. As everybody comes across the line, we win in a handful more. But what a race to the line that we saw. It was about a 10th at the line between Krohn and Hudson when they came across. An unbelievable way to finish. The virtual fireworks are going off for the 47 of Anders Krone, as he will go to virtual victory lane tonight in the virtual Real Racers Virtual Club, the third round of the campaign, and a third different winner. We'll grab a look at your full race results as Anders Krone is going to grab the race win with Zach Hudson in second. Nicholas Leo rounds out the top three, and 3 Indiana natives finish on the virtual podium tonight. Matthew Escajeda will finish in P4. Jackson Ball going to round out the top 5 with Robert McGinnis, Kurt Panzerground, Nikita Lastotchkin, and the pair of butlers, Joe and Max, going to round out the top 10 in the proceedings tonight. Wade Michael with a great run at the front. Unfortunately, some contact towards the late race ends him in P11 with Rick Sheldon rounding out the top 12. We will begin post-race festivities tonight as we get ready to talk to all of the key players in tonight's race, and what a fantastic one it was. We saw great racing at Watkins Glen. We saw great racing at Lime Rock, and even though we switched it up, went to an oval, we saw some amazing racing here as well. But Lorenzo, as we enter the post-race show, 3 races, 3 unique winners. Amazing to see. And this is going to go anywhere when it comes to those points as well. Most notably, I think, second place, Wade Michael finishing all the way down, P11.
Yeah, Wade Michael finishing second to last place. So it will have a little bit of a shuffle in the standings, absolutely. And it could go either way. You know, everybody is actually up to the fight for the championship. This is what I like to see, you know, because you have this fluctuation of real life commitments, and sometimes you don't get big grids, or some key players are out. You do bring other key players into the factor, so it's going to be cool to see what it's going to be next for the season.
Time to begin the interviews here in the post-race show, and we start with tonight's race winner at the top step of the podium, Anders Krone in the 47. And what a race it was for the number 47 tonight for Anders Krone, with a great win for him tonight. And unfortunately, doesn't look like we're going to be able to grab an interview with him tonight, but a fantastic race and a fantastic showing for the 47. Definitely the most dominant driver of the night. And the most deserving winner. I think you can make the argument for him tonight. So we'll move away from the 47 and we'll go to second place with the 2 of Zach Hudson. Zach, what a night it was for you, walking away with a second place finish. So close to grabbing that win, but unfortunately couldn't get by the 47. But you were in the lead mix the entire night. How was that race from your perspective down on the virtual track?
That race was a blast, man. That was so much fun. We had a good pack rolling with us for 30 or so laps, and then a little bit of carnage kind of broke it up a bit. But those last 15, 20 laps with Anders, Nick, and I, that was some intense, close, smart racing. So very happy with the podium. I told you guys last week, ovals are my bread and butter. So happy to show that off a little bit for you guys.
We can definitely see that you performed well on the ovals, but we still have a lot of road courses left before we go to another oval on the track of Phoenix Raceway. But going into the road courses now, a great finish, second place here, and another great finish at Lime Rock Park 1 week ago as well. Is this giving you a little bit more momentum as we go into the middle portion of the campaign?
Well, I keep gaining positions each race, so, I can only go up from here, hopefully. There's only one more spot I want to get, so hopefully I can get a W this season, and we'll see. But very much looking to the road courses, and yeah, one more oval, I think, with Phoenix. So bring it on.
Congratulations on your podium finish tonight, Zach, and hopefully we see you back on the podium in 2 weeks' time when we continue the campaign from Virtual Red Bull Ring.
So as well. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Great to hear from second place finish Zach Hudson tonight. As we send it over to Lorenzo Bonder, he's going to stand by with the third driver in that race to the finish. It was Nicholas Leo in the 69.
So Nick, talk us through about this race. Was insane at the beginning. You started basically what was in pole position, dropped back a little bit, but you were able to get third place overall. I think you're satisfied with that.
Yeah, the pole position was a bit of a surprise. I am not too familiar with ovals, but the past week I've been practicing a lot. And I was genuinely surprised myself, but it was a great race. And then at the start, I had Anders and Robert behind me who both have oval experience. And so I was expecting to just get consumed. And that's what happened, but luckily I was able to stay on the draft with that pack, and then kind of one by one each person got taken out for some reason, and then it was just me, Anders, and Zach left, and we had a great battle right at the end.
Right on, and we move away from the first oval of the season. The Phoenix is going to come down in February. Now we're moving to the Red Bull Ring, a very fast track. The draft is going to be strong over here as well. What are your expectations for the Austrian track?
I'm expecting another really big draft party like this. There are a lot of long straightaways, and if you can just keep up with a pack, then that's where you're going to stay. Although this is one of my least favorite tracks to go to, just a lot of areas for mistakes, and we usually institute a penalty limit here because of how many off tracks you can count up so quickly. So I'm going to practice it. I'm going to try and enjoy it, but honestly, I'm just trying to finish that race in a good position.
Sure. Fair point, Nick. Enjoy your podium, and I can't wait to see what you're going to be doing in the Austrian track at the beginning of February.
Thank you so much, guys.
A fantastic run tonight for Nicholas Leo in third place, and we go now to Indy Lights driver Robert McGinnis, who finished in P6, but Robert, you were in that battle for the lead towards the beginning of this race tonight. How was that race from your perspective, and talk about battling at the front with Crone, Hudson, Leo, and more?
That race was super fun. I mean, the draft is so intense, and it's oval racing. Oval racing is always so close and so fun, but I was just bummed, you know. I made a tiny mistake. Anders had a little bobble in front of me. I ran to the back of him. I damaged my front wing, and that was it. You know, so that's how it goes.
Yeah, before that damage to your front wing, of course, running at the front of this pack, but still able to hold on for a 6th place finish. And if we see you at any remaining races this season, do you think you can be running at the front once again here in the virtual world?
Oh yeah, no, I know I'll be at the front. Man, the only race that I've won was one that Anders couldn't attend, so it's almost a little personal at this point. I gotta beat Anders.
Well, we hope that we see you versus Anders again this season. Thank you so much for your time here on RaceSpotTV, and we look forward to seeing you hopefully again this season in the Real Racers Virtual Club. Congratulations on your top 10.
Thank you.
Good to hear from Robert McGinnis, who walks away with a 6th place finish after some front wing damage, but had some amazing performances at the front tonight. We're going to be rounding out our post-race show. And Lorenzo, a fantastic race tonight from Virtual Gateway. We move on in the campaign to Virtual Red Bull Ring in 2 weeks' time, excuse me. And it's going to be an exciting one, putting these cars on an F1 track. It's going to lead to some exciting racing. I think a lot more of this slipstream battling, especially like we were seeing tonight.
Yeah, I've had the pleasure of commentating Red Bull Ring a few seasons back. It is such a close track, everybody, in the draft train, like Nick Leo said. So it's going to be an interesting one for us to bring it up to you guys, because I think with the fixed pack that we are seeing throughout this season, I think is going to be a little bit spice to add on towards the Austrian race.
We hope to see you on February 1st, same time, same place, 10:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:15 Pacific Time for round number 4 of the Real Racers Virtual Club from Virtual Red Bull Ring, live on RaceSpotTV. For Arjuna Kankipati pushing the buttons in the virtual production trailer, for Lorenzo Bonder to my side, and Hugo Louise helping out in the post-race show, I am Joshua Lee. Thank you so much for joining us for round number 3, of the Real Racers Virtual Club, and we hope to see you for round number 4 right here on RaceSpotTV from the Virtual Red Bull Ring. Congratulations to Anders Crone. 3 weeks, 3 unique winners. Will we see a 4th in 2 weeks?
Come
Coforce is a digital media marketing agency specializing in the world of motorsports. Working in a variety of racing series in North America, Coforce offers a full range of services, from video production and targeted branding campaigns to event planning and special projects. For more information, visit www.coforce.com or find them at a race event near you.
I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I want it now and I ain't never gon' back down. I am no regular citizen. Do you understand what you witnessing? You cannot tell what the difference is. I want it all and I'm winning it.